Hello. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's doing well. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Lovely to see you.
Just the three of us, Nala.
Just the three of us today. I know, because I think everybody else is celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, I think so.
We're the only ones dedicated entering 2025.
Yeah.
Uh,
You are not doing Christmas?
I
Hello.
don't do Christmas.
No, me neither.
Hello, hello. Oh, you don't do Christmas?
No. Yeah,
Oh,
no, actually, I have a Dutch husband. So he, when we were back in Netherlands, we got his parents, or but here,
yeah, there's not really that much to do, right?
no.
That's true. Hello, Dr. Nuha. I don't think we have met yet. I'm not sure.
Uh,
Hello, how are you? Perfect.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good,
Uh,
thank you.
yeah, no, we met, but maybe you will not remember me. I just attended one session with you last time.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Awesome.
Mm. Okay.
So welcome back again. For everybody else, I suppose that's watching later on, welcome as well. So this session will be recorded and a lot of people were requesting that we upload it to YouTube, so we will do that as well. Okay, so the session will be on our plan for 2025, which I think is vital to start the year off correctly. So I'm going to share my screen. How do I make this full screen? Mm-mm-mm. No, 1 second, sorry. Okay, awesome. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so today's topic will be your must-have marketing plan for 2025. So in the presentation or in our talk today, I have divided your marketing plan into two categories. One that's specifically digital and one that's non-digital. So I will go through it separately because I think that the way you plan for it is a little bit different. So first we'll talk social media and ads specifically, then we'll talk events, collaborations, and in-clinic marketing. We're going to discuss how to effectively organize both of these marketing efforts and then also how to stay on top of things because I know it's easy to plan, but then it's really hard to carry things out also. Okay, so there's a really kind of let's say academic system to really make sure that things are staying on top of or are being stayed on top of. So we will first begin by discussing social media. Okay, I won't spend too much time on this one because all of us kind of have a very good idea of what we want to do in our social media. But definitely, in every point that I discussed today, I want to show the important bits that we need to focus on more, especially in the upcoming year. Okay, a lot of research has already come out about 2025 and what will be most vital for your marketing. Okay, so I'll share those papers on the group later on as well. But to kind of summarize in my own easily digestible way, hopefully. And again, guys, if you have any questions, you can stop me in the middle and just, distract me and ask me a question. But for now, I'll kind of keep going. So, in terms of social media, what we're going to be focusing on in 2025 is, as always, reels, stories, and carousel posts, not so much, but definitely to a small extent. Nala, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, can you hear me now?
Can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now? No? Hmm. Weird. Okay, let me go out and join.
This is
I can hear you.
You can talk,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
oh, Naha can hear me. Perhaps you should leave the meeting and come back again. Weird. Okay. Hopefully you can hear us now, Mariam. Um, okay. So, uh, yeah, going back to social media, what to focus on this year. So, like I said, reels and stories always. So reels. Oh, new message. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Mariam's joining back up again. Hopefully you can hear us now, Mariam. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, welcome back. Okay, cool. So going back again. So yeah, reels and stories. Reels are going to be your videos, right? Always works better on social media, especially since the rise of TikTok. And then stories are your way of reminding everybody about your brand in a not so in your face way, like I'm seeing this person or this account post all the time, but stories are kind of a quick swipe. So it's an awesome way to keep your account alive. Carousel posts are coming back into style. In 2023, 2022, they really were kind of dead. They weren't getting any reach. But recently, carousel style posts have really come back to style. And what I'm going to do in 2025 as well is I'm actually going to dedicate an entire session just for carousel posts because they're very, very easy to make. But there's a very specific way with specific tips and tricks that make it pop and make it perform quite well. Okay, so in terms of Facebook, we have community building through groups and engagement posts. So Instagram is definitely one to focus on. Secondary to it would be Facebook, but Facebook not to actually post content. You can, it won't harm your brand to post content, but your focus should be on finding your niche and your community. So let's say I am a Lebanese doctor who deals with women's health in Dubai. What I want to do is I want to find a Lebanese group of only women or a Lebanese group or something like that to kind of niche to my own community and find people that relate to me and that I relate to. It doesn't necessarily have to be nationality. It can be anything. Like, let's say I like to play paddle or I like to play tennis. Join those groups, try to engage with them because in the long run, you can sell your service to them. LinkedIn, very similar to Facebook. It's all about connections, okay? So you want to connect with the correct people, you want to message those people, you want to stay in touch. And again, it doesn't hurt to post on LinkedIn either. Okay, so let's talk kind of bigger picture now in terms of social media. Okay, a lot of the time and throughout 2024, a lot of the time, a lot of people would ask me, how many times should I post? What would be an ideal time? Hello, Dr. Shiva. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining. Um, hello. So just kind of carrying on, in terms of the bigger picture and consistency of posts on social media. So of course this will differ per Instagram or sorry, per social media platform, but still generally you want to post a minimum of 3 times and a maximum of 5 times. And a lot of people will tell me maximum, like, isn't it ideal if I post every single day? And that's completely a myth because if you post every single day, people are gonna be sick and tired of you being down their throat. So you want to be subtle, you want to be classy with it. You just want to do a nice, sweet 3 to 5 times a week, be it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, even Snapchat. You don't want to be in people's faces every day, with one exception, which is Instagram stories, which you should do every day. Okay. So, when it comes to 3 to 5 times a week, I have a really kind of neat way of really organizing those thoughts together, and I'm going to go through it at the very end of the kind of presentation. But there's a really neat way that you can divide, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this many videos this month, and then I'm gonna do this many pictures, I'm gonna do this many posts. so that it doesn't stress you all the time and you're constantly thinking about it. Okay, so a bigger picture again, use high quality visuals and captions with a mix of educations and promotions and engagement. And then we'll talk paid ads in just a second. Okay, so that's my kind of overall social media planning for the year. If anybody has any questions, please do stop me and ask. Okay, next we're going to be talking about websites. Okay, so far we've spoken about social media, and now we're going to talk website and SEO. Okay, so these are kind of your marketing pillars. They're what's going to establish you in the market and going to show up for you as your kind of your pillars that people will either get to know you from, or it will be the reason that people stay with you. Okay, so for the website, the top 3 tips that I've kind of compiled throughout the years is definitely make your website mobile friendly. A lot of the time, a lot of people or a lot of doctors will have, people make websites for them and it's not compatible on your phone. So it looks really tacky on the phone, but it looks really good on the computer. But 80% of users use mobile, so this is something to definitely keep in mind. Okay. We want a clear service page. Okay, so that includes details of treatment, FAQs, and expected outcomes. So the reason why I say service page is, or services pages rather, is because a lot of the time doctors won't have your own website. You'll have let's say, a page within the hospital or the clinic's website. So you'll have your own page, right? So you want to make sure 1000% that it includes the details of the treatments that you do, frequently asked questions, and the expected outcomes. Okay. And then last but not least, people need to be able to book online with you. So it doesn't need to be that they can exactly see the diary of the clinic, but it needs to be a very simple way from the moment that they land on your page to the moment that they are able to click WhatsApp or they're able to email in or able to call in. This needs to be really, really crispy. Okay. My advice to anybody listening that is a part of a clinic website, please do try to block the schedule of the marketing person who's taking care of your page and make sure to tell them that I want this and this and this and this changed. I want it to look like 1, 2, 3. Because if you demand a really nice and clean website page, just trust me, your bookings will immediately skyrocket. Google is the simplest and easiest way to get truly, truly good customers because they're people who are already looking for your service rather than just scrolling on social media and you trying to stop them as they're scrolling. Okay. In terms of SEO, which is again search engine optimization, it's a measure of how strong your website or your landing page is on Google. Okay. It's what pushes you to be the top, let's say. Okay, so I won't go too much into SEO, but what I would say is definitely make sure and maybe take a screenshot of this if in case you just want to share it with your marketing team, but essentially you want to optimize for near me searches. Okay, there's a really easy way to do that. You can include so essentially how SEO works is in the back end of Google, you kind of tell Google what words you want to rank for, right? So you tell Google, I want to show up when people search filler or Botox or before and after or near me, which a lot of marketing people miss out on. But if you write near me and people, I mean, when I'm out and about, I always want something that's most convenient to me. So this will be a really, really nice trick to really get the numbers up there. Okay, so in terms of content creation, okay, there's 2 ways that I'm talking about here. I'm talking about blogs and articles, but also another thing is the content within your page, right? A lot of the time when you have your own website, it will be very word heavy or very text heavy, which you really don't want. So it's about finding that kind of balance between being really, really word heavy and being really, really good on SEO. Because at the end of the day, you want Google to read as many words as possible, right? In order for it to rank you as the most relevant website for what people are searching for. At the same time, though, I would say when you're creating a website or when you are a part of a website, you have a landing page, you exist somewhere in Google. Your first priority will be to create a really nice user journey. Okay, you want to put yourself in the place of the person who's the target audience, right? Like, let's say the patient. You want to read through it as if you're reading it for the first time in your life and you're thinking, okay, I have this really urgent thing that I want to do, or maybe non-urgent. Let's say I want to do filler and I'm reading through things and it's really word heavy and it's saying all these things that I don't understand and I don't care about, then you haven't made a good enough page. And Google will know that. Okay, so a lot of people throughout the year have asked me, oh, does Google know if ChatGPT wrote my website or if I used any other AI or whatever? Google doesn't know and Google doesn't care. As long as ChatGPT writes your website or writes your landing page and it writes it in a way that's customer friendly and user friendly, you're on the right track. You're gonna do amazing in terms of SEO. Okay, so another important part that a lot of marketing people will miss out on is not just how many words Google is able to kind of say that you're relevant or you're a good website for. Another really important metric that makes you a very, very good website is if people spend a lot of time on your website. Okay, let's say I come onto your website and I want to read about Botox, but you have really nice before and after pictures, you have a really nice video, you have something that's interactive, maybe something that moves in the website. Okay, all of these things are going to push me to stay a little bit longer. Last but not least is Google My Business. Okay, Google My Business is, when you look up any brand, let's say I look up nearest Carrefour and it's the list that I should have done a screenshot, but maybe I'll send a screenshot to the group afterwards. Essentially, it's when you have the list of companies that you can just click and then it will go to Google Maps. So that's Google My Business. Through Google My Business, you can rank much higher on Google. You can start to get reviews on your page. You can show up in the Google Maps. So when people look up anything that's close to your name or close to the service that you provide, you'll show up. So it's a really, really nice way to give yourself that really nice boost, and it's for free. It's completely simple to kind of set up. Me and Servan do one-on-one consulting for this as well, in case someone's listening and doesn't know how to do it or it's really tough. But also at the same time, I'm happy to send some YouTube tutorials because it's really not that hard to start it. It's a bit harder to kind of maintain it and keep it really strong, but it's really easy to start it. And you can do it as a clinic, as a business, as a doctor. It's applicable to everyone. Okay. Then we have my
I
personal.
have a question
Yeah.
about Google My Business.
Mhm.
So let's say if my website is not ready yet, would you recommend me to start it yet, or first finish up with the website and then go for like this?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. I would actually suggest to just start Google My Business because it's really not that hard to then later switch the URL, especially if your website is on the correct URL. Also, the thing about Google My Business is that it takes about a month for it to start picking up. So I would say do it as soon as possible. It's completely for free anyway. And congratulations on the new website. That's really awesome.
Thank you. Finally, I'm getting somewhere. So
Woo! Awesome. So, okay, cool. That was a really good question. So I would say, yeah, start Google My Business as soon as possible. It definitely doesn't harm you. Okay, so next we have WhatsApp marketing, my personal favorite. So when you talk to people in the marketing world, right, a lot of the time they won't agree with WhatsApp marketing. They'll say it can cheapen your brand, it's not the best way to communicate with patients, etc. And these are all things I somewhat agree with. But when I come to look at clinics and me bringing patients to clinics and standalone doctors, I've seen that WhatsApp is one of the most widely used social media tools, I would say, or media tools in Dubai. Okay, if I was in any other country in the world, I would not suggest this to anybody. But in Dubai, WhatsApp is just so strong that I 1000 million% would suggest doing some WhatsApp campaigns. Dr. Shiva, did you have a question? I think.
yes, so my
Um,
question is, WhatsApp is for me, like WhatsApp is more of a communication tool rather than social media, and like people get irritated because here, as you said, people like it's the first like go-to app for most people, and most people they don't want to be like receiving unnecessary messages, even like their friends that message them too much, they put them on
they
silent.
block them. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
Yeah, so WhatsApp, you can do it two ways. Okay, you can do it the tacky way, which is in my opinion, tacky anyway, which is oh, look at me, I'm a doctor and I have 50% off and please come and do filler with me, whatever. This is not the right way to do it. The right way to do WhatsApp, in my personal opinion, is you join relevant groups to you. So let's say I am, again, like I said, I'm into tennis, I'm into paddle. These are all really, really, really popular sports in Dubai. Okay, it doesn't have to be a sport. Maybe I'm into reading, maybe I'm into painting. If I'm in that community, I'll know a friend or a patient who knows a group on WhatsApp. And what you do is you just interact with that group as if you're their friend, okay? Or also, there's a lot of British groups, there's a lot of Iranian groups, there's a lot of Lebanese, Egyptian, whatever. There's so many different types of groups that exist all over WhatsApp. There's so many different communities that you can ultimately market yourself in two ways, okay? One way is to just be a part of the group, okay? So yeah, how was your weekend, guys? What'd you do? Da da da. Oh, by the way, and eventually, they would get to know what you do, who you are, whatever, and that way you market yourself. But the other way, and I think the more useful way, is to get your marketing people, or maybe yourself if you know any groups. And again, me and Servan do one-on-one consulting on this because we have a lot of contacts there as well. So we have a lot of British groups, we have a lot of different types of groups on WhatsApp that we know. So essentially, what you do is you message or you get to know the admin, okay, the person who's in charge of the group, and you say, hey, look, I want to do, let's say, an open day on February the 3rd or something. And my goal is to get your girls in. Can I pay you a fee and you market it for me? So that's a really, really successful way of doing that. Another way is to say, hey, I want to do a thing where, let's say, I want to post 3 times a week, and every time I get a patient from you, I want to pay you back 100 dirhams, let's say, to the admin. So that can be another way. It really honestly depends. A lot of the time, you'll find that these types of admins have already done this before, so it won't be like a complicated or completely new thing for them. They'll be like, oh yeah, cool, whatever, another brand. But to you, it'll be an awesome way to integrate within groups. And the reason why this is one of my favorite tools to market, and not again, not in the tacky way of like, I'm gonna send you a message and you should come to my clinic and I have 70% off or whatever. That's completely not the way to do it. But once you integrate within a group on, let's say, WhatsApp, and you get to know 2 or 3 of the women that are there, or the men, I suppose, once you get to know them in that way, it actually becomes a little bit cliquey, and they also bring their friends, and it becomes a really successful way of that. Marketing. Hello, Merry Christmas. Hello, Dr. Hayden.
No, hi. Good evening. Hi, I'm not mute. Okay, sorry, my kids are
Good
a bit loud,
evening.
so I'm
We're
just
just saying
Merry
hello.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'll be in the shadow. It will be
Remember.
too long for your presentation.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for organizing.
Awesome. Okay, so going forward to kind of discuss also, again, to bring up the point of like, yeah, WhatsApp is the way that I contact my friends. I don't really want the clinic to do it, etc. Again, 100% agree. So like I mentioned, there's that way to do it, but also to kind of make a note to anybody who is messaging on WhatsApp. There's some really nice ways to kind of message people that isn't so informal and doesn't feel so pushy, right? So when we talk about appointment confirmations and reminders, quick notes and updates, post follow-up, post follow-up messages, etc. There's some really nice ways to do it, right? There's the with types of messages that are super long with so many emojis and all kinds of informal things in them. But then there's also a way to write things very nicely, very formally, with very eloquent English. And again, in 2025, I want to do an entire session on this coming forward. So I want to discuss how actually reaching out to your patient after they've left the clinic is a really nice way to retain long-term loyalty. And even though I know that a lot of people will tell you, oh, only do it through email, only do it through whatever, sometimes a WhatsApp, if done correctly in the right kind of tone and choice of words, it can be a very, very successful marketing tool for you going forward. Okay, so I'm really excited for that session. But for now, I just wanted to mention the use of groups. Next, we have email marketing. Of course, this is a fantastic, awesome marketing tool that a lot of marketing people will sleep on. Okay, they don't know that in 2025 or even in 2024 that there is still room for email marketing. They think that email marketing is just sending an email that says, oh, I'm a doctor, I do this, I have 70% off, please come see me. It's not that way at all. Email marketing is a way to keep your brand alive. In a weird way, it's kind of like an Instagram story. It's not really something that people are going to read so much. It's not something that people are going to, think about so much, but it's a way to keep your brand alive. Okay, it's a way to follow up with people who maybe you haven't seen in a long time. Maybe it's a way of getting new patients. Maybe it's a way of messaging or emailing the current patients. Okay, so it's kind of a really easy and cost-effective way to keep engaging with your patient. It builds long-term connections, and it's a very professional way and very classy way to market yourself. Now, a lot of that, and again, this is another session that I want to do in 2025, but a marketing email campaign doesn't have to be something boring. It doesn't have to be just text. There's some really, really nice tools that maybe I'll share with you on the group as well after, which is things like Moosend. There's so many different programs that you can use that can auto create or auto generate videos for you, can make your email look really, really exciting with really nice pops of colors. It can do for a new patient, it can do those confetti coming down the website. So there's a lot of different things that you can actually do to spice up your email. It doesn't have to be something so formal like, thank you for finding this clinic and we hope to see you again. No, it can be something really, really fun. Okay, so kind of to give you ideas in 2025 of what to send to keep up with your patients, monthly newsletters with tips, clinic updates, and promotions, of course, is great. Right, we have educational emails addressing common health concerns. So one of the weirdest ones I worked on in 2024, or I wouldn't call it weird, let me call it unique. One of the most unique email campaigns that I worked on in 2024 is an email campaign by a spine surgeon who wanted to send all his patients all the different complications that he's seen in his surgeries in the past 20 years. So he had sent a percentage of complications and why he saw those complications and how he fixed them. And it was a really, really, really successful campaign because people were very alarmed, right? It's something that wakes you up, all the surgeries that went wrong in 2023. That was an awesome, awesome campaign. Everybody had emailed back being like, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing this. This is really eye-opening, etc., etc. And of course, the spin of it was, and I'm not saying go away and tell your patients everything that went wrong, but I'm just saying that there are things to kind of pull people's eyes, right, to what you're saying. And he had exactly titled it, Everything That Went Wrong with My Surgeries 2023. Okay, so he basically gave the issue and then how he solved it. So he positioned himself as an expert in the field and as somebody who's very honest. He's going to tell you all the mistakes and all the things that went wrong before you become his patient, or I guess to continue being his patient if you are already his patient. Okay, we have, of course, follow-up emails for feedback and testimonials. So this isn't just for new patients, this is even for ongoing patients. Patients want to feel that they are cared for. Okay, so if you see somebody for the first time or if you're a long-term kind of patient, it's really nice to say, hey, thank you so much for coming today to the clinic. Hope your experience was really good. You can leave us a Google review if you wish so. Now, in terms of clinics, and I have done this for some standalone doctors, so you can set up programs that actually do this for you automatically. Okay, you don't need to be sending an email after every single patient and being like, hey, this is me personally, and I want to personally thank you, which can be cool. at the start, but it can get very hectic, right? If you're seeing like up to 10 patients a day. I'm hearing someone. Okay. Or you can set up, so you can set up programs that automatically do this for you. They link with your patient base, and then automatically those emails are kind of sent. Again, you can go really wrong with email, or you can go really right with email. Okay, it's all about the choice of words, the tone of voice, and definitely the material attached with the email that can make or break it. Okay. Having now discussed all the different digital ways to implement marketing, the most important thing that we need to do in 2025 is we need to keep track. Okay. A lot of the time, doctors will come to me being like, oh, my salary is this much, and if I am spending this much on marketing, and I'm not getting anything back, then why am I doing this? And a lot of the time, people are treating kind of investments into marketing as a percentage of how much they're spending on from their salary, right? Which is a fair way to kind of calculate marketing expenditure, but it's not the best way to keep track of your marketing campaigns. So what do you do instead? Okay, instead, you don't need to be looking at it as a percentage of your salary. Instead, you need to be looking at it as an investment into a project and how much return are you getting back from that project. If in case you're spending more than what's coming back to you, then there's a very red flag and you need to stop what you're doing or you need to completely change or reverse what you're doing. Okay, so what are the different metrics that you can keep on top of in 2025 to make sure that you're not overspending, you're not underspending, that you're just on the right path? Okay, so definitely amount spent, 1000%. So a lot of the time, what I'll see doctors do is they'll be a little bit disorganized with their marketing. So they'll put money here, money there, money here, money there, and little by little they'll start spending 10K, 20K, 30K without even knowing because it's going to so many different channels. So there's really nice Excel sheets that you can create for yourself to stay on top of these things. Okay, where's the money going? And then once that money is spent, how many leads is it generating? So a lot of the time, people will just kind of put money into ads, put money into Google ads, put money into Meta ads, and just be like, yeah, hopefully, I'm gonna see a patient or two. No, you need to be very sure of those numbers. There's very nice programs that you can subscribe to that actually keep up with the number of leads. So on Meta, it's pretty simple, and on because it's immediately on something called Business Suite, which is automatically linked to your Facebook or your Instagram page. In terms of Google, there's something called Google Analytics, which is a little bit on the more difficult side to put on the website just because it needs a little bit of coding experience. So you would need to speak to the developer or the designer to actually implement the Google Business Analytics. Did you have a question, Dr. Shiva?
Yes.
Tell me.
This was my question. So, when it comes to Instagram, like I want to know your opinion. This is just what I felt. Maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like since I started spending on ads, well, it didn't bring me as much patience as I expected, But I feel like even like my existing followers and patients, they started engaging more. Like overall, like even sometimes people like they will come to me and they tell me, we saw your page in the Explorer, which is something that never happened before. I felt like this, just how the ads like it's kind of increases the traffic on your page. I mean, I saw this for Instagram. I don't know about other social media, but I felt like it helped overall.
1000%. So, okay. There's two types of, or not two, but there's two main types of ads that you can run on Instagram. Okay, there's one that's called awareness ads, and there's one that's called lead gen or lead generation ads. Okay, so I would definitely recommend ads to somebody who's looking to just kind of get leads into their page. You want people requesting about you, requesting do your services, requesting see you in the clinic. So in terms of awareness, I wouldn't go that route because your purpose and goal is not to grow on social media. You technically don't care how big you are on social media. You just want to see bums on seats, right? You want to see patients in clinic. So for you, if you're doing a lead generation campaign, I would 1000% suggest doing a small campaign to boost yourself on there. So it depends on how much budget you are spending. Okay, so you don't have to share with me right now here, but we can have a quick private discussion some other time. But 1000%, if you're doing something between, let's say, 300 to 600 dirhams a month, hugely would recommend. Now, the answer to that question would again come back to here. Are you getting enough leads from it? And for each lead, I want everybody to measure how much revenue is generated from that lead. Okay, so you can get that from accounts or from the clinic, or if you just remember from off the top of your head. And then you want to add all of those values up, right? Okay, cool. So I got, let's say, Mohammed on the 6th, I got Sarah on the 8th, I got this person on the 10th, I got this person on the 12th, etc., etc. Sometimes you will get those leads requesting to book an appointment and they don't book. Or sometimes you will get those leads who book an appointment and don't show up. Or you'll get those, etc. You know, you'll have somebody who will come into the clinic and not actually do anything and they don't pay. So we need to keep on top of all of these numbers. Ultimately, we want to know how much money came out and how much money went in. Okay, so I know it's very clinical, it's quite cold way of looking at things, but it's the only way that you can know if your investment is worth it at the end of the day. Okay, so in terms of campaigns run on Instagram, okay, I will give you also timelines for ads. In terms of meta ads, which is ads run on Instagram or Facebook, okay, it should not take more than 2 weeks. So it should take you about 2 weeks for you to start seeing results. Okay, so maybe you won't break even, like you won't make as much money as you have spent, because that takes time. I would say in 4 weeks, so in 1 month, you should make back what you have already spent. Okay, so that's in terms of meta ads, which is Instagram and Facebook. In terms of Google, which is arguably the much more efficient way of running ads, because so let me just give you kind of the timeline. For Google, it's gonna take you about 6 months for you to make the amount of money that you spent back. Google takes a stupid long time for it to start showing results. But once those 6 months are up, and you will start to see a little bit of a result on month 3 or month 4 most of the time, but by the 6th month, you will know if your campaign is a good campaign. Okay, so after 6 months of spending, you will hopefully have made all of that amount back by month 6. Google ads are really hard to compete on because everybody wants to do Google ads, and it's really hard to convince Google that your ad and your landing page and your website is a really good website that's relevant for people. But once you've convinced Google, and I'm speaking in very kind of simplistic terms, but by convinced, I mean you've made a really nice user experience. People are spending a lot of time on the website. The keywords that you're using in the website are relevant to what people are searching. Your website is nice to look at. It loads easily, etc. So these are all the different types of things that your marketing person will be trying to optimize for you to kind of get Google to understand that this is a really good ad or a really good website. Okay, so just to recap, for Meta, it's going to take you about 2 weeks to start seeing results. For Google, it's going to take you 4 to 6 months to start seeing results. Okay, so maybe we'll do also in 2025 a small session on when to choose Google and when to choose Meta, so that Dr. Shiva, we can even go into a deeper discussion about, is it worth spending my money here? Is it worth spending my money there in this situation and that situation? Okay, so that's kind of the digital part. If anybody has any questions, please do stop me and ask. But for now, we will be going into the non-digital part of our discussion, which is a personal favorite. I love digital marketing, and I think that digital marketing is an awesome tool for you to get bums on seats, but the much more efficient way of promoting yourself is definitely the non-digital route, which includes events and brand collaborations, okay? So we've talked a lot about events and brand collaborations, but I want to have a very quick discussion on what to expect in the upcoming 2025, what you can do to kick things off. Okay, so I actually say brand events and brand collaborations, but really it should be brand collaborations and events. Why do I say that? because events start with brand collaborations. So in 2025, I really want you guys to get to know everybody who's around you. Okay, a lot of the time we all work in buildings or we live in buildings. A lot of the time we have favorite coffee shops or favorite cafes, favorite bookstores, favorite whatever that's surrounding us. And what I would really, really recommend doing is just creating a small business card or a brochure that summarizes who you are and what it is that you do, and start networking with people. Okay, so you want to say, hey, I'm Dr. This, I do this, I really love your whatever your store, your coffee shop, your pharmacy, whatever it is. And I would love to speak to your marketing person. I would love to host some sort of event together. You will not believe how many other companies would love to do the same. And so, how do you do it? You go up to somebody and you say, hey, I'm this, and I would like to collaborate with you. And then once they choose to collaborate with you, there is multiple ways to do collaborations. Among them is events, but I'll come back to that in the end. Let me tell you what you can do with a brand collaboration. Okay, one, you can do a cross exchange of brochures or of promotions. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say I am a pediatric doctor in Dubai, okay, and I work with children. And I'm also a mother, and I have a favorite bookstore that I like to buy, like toys and small books for my kids. I go up to the counter and I say, hey, I'm Dr. Nala. I am a pediatric doctor in whatever, in Mediclinic, and I would love to do a collaboration with you. And they say, cool, let's do a collaboration. So I give them a brochure saying, if you purchase in the store for 100 dirhams, you can do my service, like you can do a consultation with me for 25% off, let's say. So that's one way. So I keep a brochure of theirs in my room in the clinic. So I say, okay, if you get my consultation, you can get one book free there, let's say, or you can get 50% off for a book there. So that's like a cross collaboration. So I keep their brochures, they keep mine, and we cross continually bring patients or customers to each other. So that's one way. Okay, that's, I would say, the most old school way of doing things, okay? Just a physical printed brochure in my clinic and a printed brochure in their store. The next way, which I think is the more interesting way, is the events. Okay, so let's say I am a Botox doctor and there's a hair salon next to my clinic. And I go to that hair salon one day and I say, hey guys, I love your hair salon. I love the girls that come to your salon. Do you want to do something together? I'm an aesthetic doctor and I work in XYZ clinic, and we would love to host something with you guys. And they say, hey, cool. Thank you so much for reaching out. Let's do something together. And you say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do, let's say, an open day in our clinic where we give you guys, I don't know, a Sculptra and something, whatever. You do two services together, okay, and you bundle them in a price that's specifically made for that brand. Okay, so you say, let's say, facial and this together for this much. And so what you do there is you market yourself to their database. What does that mean? So let's say I say, okay, cool, guys, I'm going to give you X and Z for this much price. And you guys have to email your entire database and have to WhatsApp your entire database with my name and my service to come to my clinic. In return, I'm gonna do the same for you guys. So you guys, if you want to organize your own open day or you just want to do a marketing campaign to my entire database, you guys are happy, you guys are welcome to. And what you'll find a lot of the time is people are more than happy to not only do it for you, but actually share their entire database with you. So the reason why I think that this is the most successful way to market a clinic or a brand is because both of these brands are, first of all, it's a mutually beneficial event for both parties. And second of all, it's really hard to get those databases, okay, to get an entire, let's say, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 emails or 3,000 to 4,000 WhatsApp numbers without having actually spoken to a person or a brand that has those databases. And the thing is, because they are the ones that are marketing on your behalf for your with your name, the people who they're marketing to are already aware of who that salon is. So once they get the message, they're not like, oh, who's this weird person trying to contact me? So it's a really, really successful way to market yourself. And we'll discuss a lot more on events and brand collaborations in 2025, but it's definitely something that I want everybody to keep in mind and definitely hone on in 2025. In-clinic marketing is very, very straightforward. So I'm going to kind of run through this one very, very quickly. In-clinic marketing is a type of marketing that's done in-house. It's not something that's digital, it's something that's just kind of there. Okay, there's a lot of places that you can market within a clinic. One of them is definitely, where people are waiting in the reception. It's really nice to put a brochure of all the different services that you do if you exist within a clinic or if you own your own clinic or if you are a clinic. 1000% have your marketing people put your name in those clinics, okay, in the coffee tables where people are waiting. I would definitely also market where the reception is. So I would definitely put some nice stickers on the back of desktops. I would definitely get one of those standing plastic stands where you can put, let's say a promotion or more about a product in the reception side. Another really, really important place in the clinic that a lot of people don't talk about enough is the coffee area. So a lot of the time clinics will have an area where you can make coffee and everybody will go there. So it's really nice to use that area for a nice marketing campaign, maybe a promotion that you're running or a service that's not been moving. So people will definitely ask a lot more questions on that. Okay, lastly, in the non-digital section, this is something that we have not discussed yet in Victimed, but it's definitely something that we want to hone in a lot more in 2025, which is loyalty programs. So a lot of the time, most of us are not pushing our current clients to bring us more clients. And I won't go too much into loyalty programs, what they are, or how to do it right now, but I will give you a kind of a snippet of what you should expect us to go into in 2025. Okay, so loyalty programs are a way to get your current clients or your current customers to bring you more customers in the future. And it can be done in so many different ways. You can do a points-based program where people will earn points for every visit and then they can redeem it later on. So it pushes them to come back again and again. Another one is a referral program, which offers rewards, like let's say free consultations, discounted treatments for each successful referral. So let's say I have one patient and she, and I do Botox for her and she brings me another patient. So I give her one for free and then I've retained that patient. Okay, and then you have membership plans, which is an awesome way that I have actually implemented in 2024 for the first time in my career, which is it was for an aesthetic clinic that created memberships for their clinic. So they created I think it was a bronze, gold, and diamond or something like that. So it's like small, medium, large membership plans that people kind of pay for annually and they get. And it's a really, really successful way to push people to be loyal to you and to your brand. Okay, there's obviously a lot of ways to market or promote loyalty programs. You can do it on your clinic using or inside of the clinic using posters and flyers. You can send personalized invitations or you can train your staff, which is, I think, the best way to mention the programs to the different patients that are coming through, just because this one is a type of marketing that is done for the people who are already inside of the organization, people who are already coming to the clinic. So that kind of sums up the non-digital approach to marketing. Okay, what I want to discuss now, which is very, very important to me, is actually how to organize your marketing plans and how to stay on top of the marketing plans. Okay, so I want to do an entire deep dive into this coming forward, but I really want to give a very clear way that you can do this now. Okay, so just to mention to you, me and Servan definitely do one-on-one consulting for this as well. A lot of people are unsure of how to, oh my God, there's so many things that I want to do with my marketing. I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I want to spend this much money, but I don't want to do this. And there's so many things that go into a marketing plan that in academia, I suppose, they came up with a really nice, simple tool to organize your marketing strategy. And it's called Above the Line, Below the Line. Okay, so above the line, ATL, is your digital tools. Okay, you want, let's say in 2025, you plan to do Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, message, which is like WhatsApp, email, and website. Okay, you want to do all these 7 things. And below the line is your non-digital approach. So you want to do an open day, let's say, which is an event. You want to do social integration, which is brand collaborations, and you want to do brochures. Okay, you then want to look at prioritization. Prioritization is written wrong, sorry about that. So prioritization is your impact. Okay, so how strongly does this marketing tool actually impact my customers? How directly does it market my brand? And I'll tell you why in a minute it's important to see these. But so how easy is it to apply? Okay, is it a really hard tool for me to do I have to spend loads of time and loads of money and loads of mental energy for me to make this happen, or is it something really easy? And then you want to look at the period. Okay, so how long do I want to use this marketing tool, and the budget, of course, how much am I willing to spend on it? And so the reason it's important to define these is because if your impact is really high and your easy to apply is really high, okay, then it's worth it. Okay, so it's going to have a really strong impact on my audience. Even if it takes me a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort, it's really important for me to put it to work. So I'm going to do it. If it's really easy to apply, but it has no impact, then maybe I should skip this one for 2025. So it's a really nice way to kind of assess whether this tool is worth it or whether it's kind of, no, I'm just kind of doing it because everybody else is doing it. Okay, so I want you to sit with yourself and really ask yourself, how easy is it to apply and how impactful is it going to be to my audience? And then in terms of period and budget, it's really important to define these early on, because once you put in your budget, you will then have a really nice, easy visual representation of exactly what's going in and exactly what's coming out. So it's a really nice way to kind of sum things up. What I would do as well later on is I would add one more column here and call it return on or revenue, and track definitely how much these different marketing tools are making me back and whether it's more or less than the budget I'm spending. Okay, once you've kind of defined your tools, cool. I'm going to use Facebook, I'm going to use Instagram, I'm going to use LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever. I'm going to do all of these things and I'm going to do them for this budget and for this amount of time. How do you actually keep up with things? Okay. How to keep up with things is you essentially, and I can share these WhatsApp, or I can share these Excel sheets because these are my own recipe. It's not my own way, it's a very academic way of doing things, but I find that academic things are proven to work, so I tend to stick with them. Okay, so this is the most academic and best way to stay organized with your marketing. So what is it that we're looking at right now? You essentially take everything that you've defined from before. Okay, remember we decided to use all of these tools and we decided to implement them using these metrics. Then we put them here on a completely different Excel tab, and we draw the months of the entire year. I do this every year for all my clients, and I say, okay, cool, in January, I'm going to do this. In February, I'm going to do this. In March, I'm going to do this. In April, and etc. So once you scroll through the Excel sheet, you can find all the months in the year. And I like to do it in quadrants, okay? So I'm going to tell you what it is that you're looking at here, okay? So you will see that there are some areas that are white and there are some areas that are green. The green parts are how often I'm going to activate this marketing tool in that month. Okay, so I don't go based on the days, I go based on the weeks, just because I think day is a little bit too specific for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in week 1, I'm going to do a post on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on WhatsApp, on email, and I'm gonna post a blog, as well as I'm gonna do social integration and brochures. Okay, so week 1 is gonna be one heck of a busy week, and I'm gonna do all of these things. Okay, week 2, I'm gonna take it really easy. Okay, I've already bothered my entire database about all of these different things that I'm doing. I've really tacked them in every single way possible about who I am and what it is I want to do. Week 2, I'm going to take it easy. Week 3, I'm going to do Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm going to also do some social integration. Okay, you will notice that there are some things that are like social integration where I've just put kind of green throughout the entire thing because it's something I want to do throughout. Okay, I constantly want to buy my coffee from the same place. I want to get my nails done in the same spot. I want to do this in the same time. And every single time that I'm going to these places that I love, I'm making a conscious effort to bring with me my brochure, to talk about my company, to talk about who I am, to try to integrate with their businesses in a really kind of productive way because I'm doing something that I love, but I'm also promoting myself in that way. So this is something that's completely green for the entire year. Okay, and then lastly, each time that I'm putting in the green, I'm actually and again, I'm doing this every 3 months, right? Or every 4 months because I'm doing it in quadrants. Okay, so every 4 months, I'm going to exactly decide what the topic of the post is going to be. So I know it way ahead of time. I can change my mind later on, but in case I don't have anything at that point in time and I'm not sure what I want to do, I have this really clear plan of what it is exactly that I should do now. Okay, just in case I feel stuck. So let's say I'm not sure which client this is that I took the screenshot from, but I suppose in January last year, we talked about the introduction of their company, and we talked about their vision. Okay, we talked about an introduction blog, and we talked about a short intro video. So all of these things, you will see that they kind of relate to each other. It's all introductory. So I suppose it was a new company getting introduced to the market. Then week 3 is all meet the team. So it might be done in slightly different ways, like Facebook might take a frame, Instagram might take a frame, LinkedIn might take a frame, YouTube might take a frame. A lot of the time, my clients will ask me, oh, if I'm posting on different social media platforms, should I post about the same thing? And the answer is yes. You always want to be saying the same thing on all different platforms so that when people see your name that week, you're always talking about the same exact thing in kind of slightly different ways. Okay, so that's kind of it. That's your presentation for 2025. I hope everybody found it useful and interesting to listen to. I think it's really important that before the year starts that we have a really kind of big overall idea of what it is exactly that we want to do and what it is that we want to kind of expect. I'm really, really looking forward to, continuing to be your marketing consultant. Please, if anybody has any questions for today's talk, do reach out to me or do discuss it with me now. Or otherwise, I will let you enjoy your holiday and your days off.
Thank you, Nala.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Thank you. See you soon.
You everyone. Bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.